Neo, Morpheus has sent me to give you information about the Matrix. Wait, this is not the Matrix. This is not Naomi. This is a doll by something called Fresh Dolls. Now, I got it for, it says $9.99 right here, but that day it was actually, I think 20% off everything in the store at Super Deals, which is right up there. I can almost walk to it. So, Fresh Beats, music in a universe. Why are all dolls related to music? Why couldn't she be in the Matrix fighting the alien robots? Music is a universal language that inspires us to sing freely, express authentically, and live to the beat of our own drum. Be extra as the stars. Be extra as the... That doesn't make sense. Be extra as the stars. This girl's name evidently is called Loxx, although I think she looks more like... Isn't it Naomi was her name? I haven't seen that. The first Matrix was a masterpiece. I'll watch it over and over again. The other two, I feel like they were just trying to squeeze a buck out of the whole thing. They were like, hey, we made a masterpiece. Let's go ahead and make more money off of that masterpiece by making inferior things. All right, Loxx is a second-generation American and proud of her Afro-Latina heritage. Well, that's complicated. Despite her rocker style, Loxx is top of her class in music school. She loves to use her classical training and her rock music. When she's not writing music, she's rocking to the causes to help young girls. No, she's helping Morpheus and Neo in The Matrix. So this came out in 2023 by World of EAP. And I'm sure you've seen this lady's face on other dolls before. With premium hair, you can create updos, ponytails, bantu knots, and afro puffs. I like afro puffs. I'm buffing stuff on my afro puff. So she's got one of those really super large heads, but I thought, my gosh, she looks so much like Naomi. I had to get her, except of course the blonde hair. Plus, the crushed velvet is absolutely amazing, which may actually fit somebody else, like maybe somebody from the her body. Like I said, looks like one of those 8-inch bodies, so that's why I wanted to measure it, and that's why I was thinking her cloak. You know, if I did want to just rob her outfit off of her, it would go great on Amigo figures. What I'm thinking. I was about to grab a Amigo figure, but I put all my Amigo figures up. All right, so we got, for her size, from her really oversized boots to the top of her head, she's 10 inches tall, and not counting her hair, because I don't like to count hair, because your hair makes you look bigger, but it's not really bigger. And for centimeters, she is about 24 to 25 centimeters tall. She has a lot of articulation. Now, my head is a little bit on the... It holds the poses, though, but I have a fear that if I play with her a lot, she's going to fall apart. Now, I don't really play with my dolls like I used to. Even then, when I was a kid, I was very careful with my dolls. I always thought they were real people, and I didn't want to hurt them. So I'm just wanting to see if this outfit, this coat, has stained her arms, because you get something like this. I mean, it's a gorgeous crushed velvet. That's going to start doing some staining. To get her coat back on, I have a feeling I have to use that little technique where you have to put plastic over their hands, or tape, or gloves, or whatever. Or, nope, they don't come off. So for articulation, we saw that she clearly has a ball jointed head. It's like, no, you didn't. And then for arms, pit actions. Her legs scared me when I bent them. I thought I ripped them right off or something. That's why I'm afraid to move her arms, because I don't see any lines here which show that, it's more articulated. All right, so at rest, they go down this far. They go up that far, which I guess is fine. They go around 360 degrees. She has a swivel right here. I don't understand why they do this on the outside right here. It would be more pertinent to put it in the bag. So that does hinder her from being able to go forward with a 90-degree angle. That's about almost 90 degrees. You can go in farther, which I personally don't like. Can she touch her shoulder? No, she can't touch her shoulder. You see she has a bend in here. Let's see her going straight to full bend. Her hand, it goes a full swivel. And for the hand going back and forth, full 180 degrees. Now she has no articulation from here. Her torso is completely inarticulate. She has down here, actually it feels like a ball crotch, but it's not. It's a swivel and a rotation. So she can go sit down a full 90 degrees. She can also go back and actually fully around, which I'm afraid to do, because I'm like, in my brain, I still think about my Amigo figures where they have a rubber band. And even though it was fun the first time you did it, whenever you snap, you realize you shouldn't have been playing with your Superman, like, because you can make him wind him back and he would let go and he'd be like, whoosh, 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 snap. Can she do a side split? She could do a full side split. So whenever she's fighting those robots or whatever they are in the Matrix, she can do a lot of action, do a lot of farming. When she's walking up walls or running up walls, she can do that too. Now this is what scares me. That's why you don't want to bend it from down here. Put your finger up here to bend it. So she goes from a straight. Did you hear that? That's what scares me. I don't know why it's doing that. But seeing this right here, I'm afraid that might split. So it has almost 2 levels. That's a full 90 degree. There's one ratchet joint at 45 degrees. So it's almost like it's ratcheting. Like, watch one more time. That wasn't a full 45 degrees. So there's actually 3 positions, it seems like. All right, let's see those feet without the boots. I don't want to take her clothes off because honestly, we don't have any articulation to look at. Okay, our boot's not wanting to come off. I have not taken our boot off up to this point. Holy crap. Oh, those feet are really in there tight. So if you want to take her boot off, and you just be really careful. I mean, that's the main thing. So she has an extremely crazy high foot. I've seen dolls like this before. I do like the fact that her foot's split at the bottom. Let me get a close-up of that. And she has individual toes, which is nice, because I grew up with the Barbies that didn't have individual toes. I remember every now and then you get a Malibu Barbie that did for some reason, and I always thought they were just amazing because they had actual toes. But, you know, a lot of times you just got them and they just didn't have toes. So getting the foot in, you might need to heat it up first or something. And today is a beautiful day, so I don't want to stick anything in my car today. So the boots are pretty nice. They got stitching down the side, which gives a lot of texture to them. Extreme high heels and some cushion at the bottom. Now this pleather scares me. That's why it also looks like the Matrix. I had Neo and Trinity. I think I had Morpheus at one time, but their pleather unfortunately just fell apart. Completely fell apart. This pleather that Trinity was wearing fell apart. Now I only knew about those 3 action figures. I don't know if there was another one. Neo's, he had pleather, it fell apart. I had both versions of Neo. I had the one at first because it was cheaper. I was like, why am I buying cheaper when I don't really want the one for him in the real world? And I was like, eh. So that's why I went back and got the other Neo. And it paid more, but you know what? You get what you pay for. So, you know, it's an interesting fashion figure. Now, since she is about 10 inches tall up to the top of her head, her feet to her neckline is 8 inches. So that means her head is a 2 inches. A 2 out of 10 is a 1 to 5 ratio, which is not normal. It's a very unusual ratio, which is super deformed, very Bratz-like. We've come to understand that the thing. I'm getting a little bit tired of it personally because it gives it too much of a childlike look. Or I don't know, when you got a child proportionality and she's wearing this, it really bothers me personally, because midriff on a child, no. Pleather, no. High, no. So, you know, that's why her clothes may go to somebody else. I don't know. We'll just see. I could just pretend like she's just and that's another thing, Elf Lords or Elf whatever. There used to be a comic book I read back when I was a kid named Elf something. Looking at them now, every time I see them in the dollar bin, I'm like, it just bothers me. They got those big heads, but then they got abs of steel. It's just weird. So there's a lot of high qualities for this. The pleather for now is wonderful, but you know it's not going to last for another 10 years, even if I don't last for another 10 years. This shimmery outfit is beautiful. It's pretty. This crushed velvet, I don't waste my time putting on right now for you because you don't want to see that. That's a really nice little coat. Here's the insides of it and the boots. So there's a lot of really good pieces that go with this if you don't really want the doll. Like I said, I'm not 100% against the doll, but the proportionalities and stuff, it does really bother me sometimes. Does anybody else feel that way, or is it just me? You know, let me know in the comments. All right, well, until we can find Morpheus and Neo and even Trinity, it looks like I'll be fighting in the Matrix alone. See you guys in the Matrix.